If you drive through North Las Vegas today, you might not immediately notice what's happening behind closed doors. The streets look familiar. The neighborhoods seem calm. Homes still line the blocks, and life appears to move forward as usual. But beneath that surface, something far more troubling is unfolding. A housing crisis that hasn't been seen at this scale since the aftermath of the Great Recession. Foreclosures are rising sharply, financial pressure is mounting, and thousands of families are quietly slipping toward losing the very homes they worked so hard to secure. And unlike previous downturns, this crisis isn't being driven by reckless lending or speculative bubbles. It's being fueled by something much more personal and much more widespread: the growing gap between the cost of living and the ability of working families to keep up. North Las Vegas has become one of the epicenters of foreclosure activity in the United States, and this trend may continue well into the future. Recent foreclosure data paint a sobering picture. Among major metropolitan areas across the country, the Las Vegas region now sits near the very top when it comes to foreclosure rates. In practical terms, that means a higher percentage of homes here are receiving foreclosure filings than almost anywhere else in the nation. Nevada as a state is also ranking near the worst nationally. Only a couple of states have higher foreclosure rates per household, and the difference is not small. When compared to the national average, Nevada's foreclosure rate is dramatically higher, nearly 70% worse than what most Americans are experiencing. But even within Nevada, the pain is not evenly distributed. North Las Vegas stands out as one of the hardest hit areas in the entire state. Data from regional housing researchers show that foreclosure notices, which are the first official warning sign that a homeowner is in trouble, have surged by more than 40% in just the last few years. That kind of increase doesn't happen by accident, and it doesn't happen in isolation. It signals a system under strain. Housing researchers at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas have been tracking foreclosure activity closely, and their findings reveal a clear pattern. Foreclosure filings are not scattered randomly across the valley. Instead, they are heavily concentrated in specific neighborhoods, particularly lower-income communities and areas with higher minority populations. Out of dozens of zip codes across southern Nevada, just a small handful account for more than 1/3 of all foreclosure filings. North Las Vegas consistently appears at the top of that list. This geographic clustering tells us something important. Foreclosures are not simply about individual financial mistakes. They are closely tied to broader economic vulnerability. When costs rise faster than wages, the neighborhoods with the least financial cushion are the first to feel the impact, and the last to recover. According to Rob Barber, head of Atom Data Solutions, November 2025 marked the 9th consecutive month of year-over-year increases in foreclosure actions, signaling persistent escalation. Foreclosure initiations climbed 17% annually, while completed repossessions rose 26%. Though these figures reflect growth, totals remain below peaks seen in previous decades. Experts interpret this as part of a broader adjustment in the real estate landscape, where property owners contend with inflated living costs and evolving financial pressures. Take the experience of a North Las Vegas resident, Yolanda Perkins, who recently spoke publicly about her struggle. She works multiple jobs. She earns more than $5,000 a month, an income that, on paper, should be enough to survive. Yet she describes living paycheck to paycheck, constantly adjusting her budget just to keep the lights on and the mortgage paid. Even with 2 jobs, she fears that one unexpected disruption, fewer hours, a medical bill, or losing one source of income, could push her over the edge. Her situation is not unusual. Thousands of households across North Las Vegas are dealing with the same impossible math. Housing costs have risen sharply. Utilities, insurance, groceries, and transportation all cost more than they did just a few years ago. Meanwhile, wages have not kept pace, especially in industries like hospitality and tourism that dominate the local job market. When everything costs more, even a small financial setback can quickly become catastrophic. Foreclosure activity typically unfolds in stages. It begins with missed payments. Then come notices of default. After that, properties move toward auctions and eventually, repossession by banks. What's particularly concerning right now is that North Las Vegas is no longer just seeing early warning signs. Completed foreclosures, where homes are actually taken back by lenders, are rising at a fast pace. Across the country, completed foreclosures jumped more than 25% compared to last year. In Nevada, the increase is even steeper. This tells us that many homeowners who once hoped to recover financially are running out of options. The crisis is shifting from potential displacement to actual displacement. For a time, struggling homeowners had access to meaningful relief. Pandemic-era assistance programs helped families catch up on missed payments, pause foreclosure proceedings, and stay in their homes during an unprecedented economic shutdown. But that support is fading. One of Nevada's most important homeowner assistance programs, the Nevada Affordable Housing Assistance Corporation, recently stopped accepting new applications because funding has run low. Tens of millions of dollars have already been distributed to help low-income homeowners, but the demand far exceeded expectations. Now, for families who fall behind today, there are far fewer lifelines available. Remaining options for assistance include the state's Foreclosure Mediation Program and Community Services of Nevada, which provides free guidance for preventing home loss. These services can help in certain situations, but they cannot replace direct financial assistance, especially for households already stretched thin. To understand why foreclosures are rising now, we have to look at the broader economic forces at play. 1. High interest rates. Mortgage interest rates remain elevated, which has effectively closed the door on refinancing for many homeowners. In previous downturns, refinancing into a lower rate could reduce monthly payments and provide breathing room. Today, that option simply isn't available for most borrowers. 2. Delayed consequences of the pandemic. Foreclosures were artificially suppressed during the pandemic due to moratoriums and forbearance programs. While those policies protected homeowners at the time, they also delayed the inevitable for many households. Now, years later, those postponed foreclosures are finally moving through the system. And 3. Unstable employment. Las Vegas depends heavily on tourism, hospitality, and entertainment. These industries are highly sensitive to economic shifts. When travel slows or conventions shrink, workers feel it immediately through reduced hours or job losses. Inconsistent income makes it extremely difficult to maintain steady mortgage payments. Despite the surge in foreclosures, home prices in North Las Vegas remain stubbornly high. Recent data shows that the median home price in the area is well above what many local families can realistically afford. To comfortably purchase a home at today's prices, even with a substantial down payment, a household would need an annual income far above the regional median. The cost per square foot has barely budged, signaling that affordability hasn't improved even as financial distress grows. This creates a dangerous paradox. Homeowners who want to sell to avoid foreclosure often can't find buyers quickly enough, while potential buyers struggle to qualify for financing. Normally, a homeowner facing foreclosure might try to sell their property, even at a slight discount, to escape the process. But market conditions in 2025 have made that strategy much harder. Demand has softened. Homes are sitting on the market longer. Buyers have more leverage and are less willing to rush into purchases. In some North Las Vegas neighborhoods, properties are spending nearly 2 months on the market, unchanged from last year. That stagnation traps homeowners. Without quick sales, foreclosure becomes the default outcome rather than a last resort. Foreclosures don't just affect individual households. They impact entire neighborhoods. Vacant homes often sit unattended for months. Lawns go unmaintained. Property values decline. Crime can increase. And as more homes fall into distress, the cycle accelerates. Local service providers are already feeling the impact. Property inspection companies, preservation services, and mortgage servicers are experiencing increased demand as delinquent loans pile up. These are signs of a system preparing for continued distress, not recovery. Foreclosure activity is rising nationwide, but Nevada stands out because of how concentrated the problem is. While states like Florida, Texas, and California have higher raw numbers due to population size, Nevada's per capita foreclosure rate tells a much more alarming story. The Las Vegas metropolitan area alone accounts for the vast majority of foreclosure activity in the state. And within that metro area, North Las Vegas bears a disproportionate share. Foreclosures in North Las Vegas and East Las Vegas reflect entrenched socioeconomic divides. Hotspots like Rancho Bel Air, Rancho Oki, and Club Alliant show varying levels of distress. December 2025 data indicates a median property listing duration of 49 days, reflecting a stalled market where neither buyers nor sellers dominate. Reinstated dues and rising fees challenge homeowners, especially in low-income North Las Vegas neighborhoods. Experts agree that this is not a short-term spike. It's the result of years of accumulating pressure finally reaching a breaking point. From a systemic standpoint, the housing market may appear resilient. But for families losing their homes, those macro-level assurances offer little comfort. The foreclosure wave has broader social impacts. Families juggling multiple jobs face disrupted education, stress-related health issues, and potential relocation to less desirable areas. Community outreach and financial literacy programs can help residents identify early warning signs and prevent home loss. Partnerships between local governments and banks may extend grace periods or offer tailored loan modifications to ease pressures from tourism-dependent employment. Real estate investors are also influential through buying foreclosed properties to flip or rent. While this reduces vacancies, it can drive up rents, intensifying affordability challenges. Policymakers are urged to revisit funding for assistance programs, including the Frozen Homeowner Assistance Fund, to prevent further displacement. Researchers at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas warn that there are no clear indicators suggesting an immediate turnaround. With demand softening, construction slowing, and household finances under strain, the conditions fueling foreclosures remain firmly in place. Some experts see potential silver linings. Increased foreclosures could cool overheated prices, making entry-level homes more accessible for first-time buyers. Economic diversification beyond gaming and hospitality could create stable jobs, bolstering housing security. Residents are advised to review mortgage terms, explore counseling, and build emergency funds to weather ongoing uncertainty. The foreclosure surge in North Las Vegas is not just a housing story. It's a story about affordability, inequality, and economic resilience. It highlights how quickly progress can unravel when wages fail to keep up with the cost of living. It exposes how vulnerable certain communities remain, even years after an economic recovery is declared complete. And it raises an urgent question: what happens if nothing changes? North Las Vegas is standing at a critical crossroads. The foreclosure numbers are rising. Assistance programs are shrinking. Housing costs remain high. And the families most affected are those with the fewest resources to absorb the blow. This is not just a warning sign, it's a call to attention. Because if this crisis continues unchecked, its impact will stretch far beyond individual households, reshaping neighborhoods, communities, and the future of housing in southern Nevada. And the time to talk about it is now.